So introduction to Instagram. Why is Instagram important? Can people tell me why Instagram is important? Nana, you've raised your hand. So can any student who's doing Instagram quickly pop in and tell me why it's important for us today?
So it is a good platform for showing our work, any kind of work.
Right, Bhavya. Do you have your own Instagram account, Bhavya?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So is it on your name? Do you have a creative name for it? Do you have a concept name for
No,
it?
it is on my @ the rightist.
Okay. So you post your writing content.
Art, artist, the rightist, the combination of an artist and a writer makes
Okay.
the rightist.
Okay. Very, very interesting concept name, Bhavya. Very
Thank you.
eye-catching and good to hear. So moving on. Um, what are the three most important factors that determine what you see in your Instagram feed? The first one is interest. Um, what do we mean by interest? So whenever we're posting content, generating content, if Bhavya, you're posting content about writing as well as an artist, then what are you trying to engage with? Whom are you trying to communicate to? What sort of user behavior are you trying to generate? We think about these things in the back of our minds, but we never note this down. We never document this process. But if we start documenting, you'll see this shift in how you started and what your account is becoming slowly, the kind of content that you're posting, how people are interacting with your post, the sort of post that you put on, they give you real-time feedback. So that creates a more interesting Instagram profile. Why it is important for a designer, I will share a few pages as examples of people that I follow, of my friends who are doing design work and have portrayed themselves as designers. The purpose of this particular session is that you, within the next week, you start creating your own Instagram profiles, building your own layouts, and start posting your content that you're doing in your classrooms as designers, not as individuals, not as people, but talking about it purely from a design thinker's perspective, that uh, what is the dialogue and the conversation you want to build around the work that you're doing and create interest around what you're posting. Timeliness. Why is posting as a consistent account important to engage the audience? So if you're creating very interesting content, but then you're posting only once a month, then you're not creating enough engagement, because the attention span of our generation is within seconds. The majority of the population that is there on Instagram, you are scrolling constantly from one post to the other, from one place, one page to another, and you're constantly binging on content, be it Netflix, be it YouTube, be it Instagram, be it anywhere else. We don't stop. There's a constant hunger for looking at content, for consuming things that are appealing and aesthetic to the eye. So it's very important that there is timeliness in the pattern that you're posting onto your Instagram profile. Then the third is relationship. So why is building a relationship with your active users important? If you don't engage them, then people who follow you for the quality of work that you're posting won't stick around. You won't get active feedback on the kind of work that you're posting. And it's very essential that the work that you're doing, no matter what it is, it could be your fashion process, it could be your interior process, could be anything from your departments. For me, it was wildlife photography, because that was something I wanted to share with the world that I was doing. So find that one interesting talent or one interesting passion that you have, maybe within field or within your department, or something that you like to do in general and you're good at, and start sharing that with your audience, so that your audience pool keeps building. and there's a relationship development that's happening. This will, so when I say you establish yourself as a designer, what will happen is that these relationships will help you not right now, but maybe 3 years in line. You will come across people of similar interests who are posting similar content. You'll be able to collaborate with new people. These people can be your, your colleagues, your fellow students, your teachers, your institution, probably brands if they like, if they see a particular type of content being posted that interests that particular brand and it aligns with their brand ideology, they might approach you that, hi, we are looking for someone like you and we would like to showcase your work or have you as a showcasing designer onto our portal. So that is why posting on Instagram today is very important. The frequency. Uh, So the way Instagram posts appear today are, it used to be chronological. It was like if you posted something today, it will appear today and it won't be shown later unless there is more engagement happening. But the new algorithm that Instagram has developed changes that ideology completely. It studies analytics, it studies people, it studies user behavior. Every individual account that is there, let's say Shivali is posting about her apparels and she's posting constantly about the garments that she's selling online. Then Instagram will look at what are the sort of people who are looking at her content and who are the bunch of people who are interested in buying her content and show them more of her content based on people's interest, based on insights that they are gathering. Following. Um, Honestly, following was never something important to me personally, and I don't think it should be important to you. The purpose of Instagram is to talk about your work and share it with the world. If you're doing something good and if you're doing something that is of your interest and your passion, then following will start increasing by itself. Of course, there are a few things, a few basic tasks that you need to make sure that you're doing so that your following keeps rising and doesn't go down. I've already covered the frequency, relationship building, putting interesting content regularly. So your following is not something you should be worried about. However, we can do multiple activities like promote our posts and things like that to increase that. There are other ways to do it, though it's not something important. What is important is to go out there, pitch your work to the world, because we are not limited just to Jaipur or your hometown or to India. The world is your playground at the current state. And with COVID happening, everybody is on their social medias even more. So how can we create more content that is more attention grabbing and increase, people's opinion about your Instagram profile and optimize your bio? A few key points when you're creating your own account is, if you're a designer, I would definitely recommend that you have your own logo. So all the people who are there on the video call right now, I want you to think. I took a session earlier also about social media in the beginning for a few foundation students, I think. And I said that it's very important to build your own logo and build your own branding, because every designer's dream that you are recognized as a label or a professional, not as a student. And that is what we are trying to get to today, right? So how can you optimize your Instagram profile or your Instagram bio, which is like your introduction. So if if brands have websites today, it is like their profile picture. How you identify a brand is through the homepage of their website. Similarly, your Instagram profile's bio is like your synopsis. If a lot of you went to CBSE schools, you would know what a synopsis is, right? So we keep indexing things that are there in the project and we write, okay, this is what I'm doing. This is the kind of content I'm posting. So your name and your background. What is the name that you're deciding for yourself? Can be a creative name like Bhavya said, she's called the Writist, which is very interesting. I have my name as the Photo Walk. because I used to go on a lot of photography walks, and I said I want to, maybe in the future, if I'm doing so many photography walks, I want to include other people who want to go for similar experiences and curate experience wildlife experiences for them. So think about what you want to do, what you want to cater to as a designer to the end customer when you're naming yourself. If you want your own name to be the brand, no worries. Then work on your background. What do you stand for? Even today, there are a lot of sustainable brands that are there, but every sustainable brand has a vision and a mission and a background that they have been focusing on, which is why they're picking up in the global markets today. Keywords. Keywords are words that every photograph that you're posting or the content that you're posting, these are things that a lot of you might already know. I am aware, but there are things that we keep forgetting. For example, whenever we're posting, we are not using the right keywords that are popular, which are not relevant to the content we're posting. So what will happen is it won't go to the right target audience that you're trying to aim at. So these are a few things that you need to look at before you build your Instagram profile or before you restructure your Instagram identity as designers or as content creators. If you have a website link, even better. I didn't have a website link for my website for my wildlife page. So what I did is I linked it with my Facebook page. So even though from past 2 years, I'm being honest, I haven't posted a single thing on Facebook. The people who are following me keep increasing. They were somewhere around 3,000 a couple years ago. Now it has doubled up to 7.5 followers, in which I have never posted a single picture. That is only because my name, my background, and what I want to pitch to people was so clear that they still bought into it, even though content wasn't posted. And I don't use Facebook that much, so that was a personal choice. The fifth thing is your email address, because people should know how to contact you. Either if you're selling clothes, there should be a WhatsApp number or maybe a Google form to generate leads, or an email address where people can reach out to you. This is a good professional practice as a designer, because then brands, people who want to collaborate, your colleagues, they can reach out to you and tell you, okay, we want to do this, we could have worked around this, if they like your content, the content that you're posting. Create a branded hashtag. A branded hashtag is basically, it's when you're posting user generated content, which is specific to the kind of user that you want to target. It is always good to have your own personal hashtag. So that can be your name. For example, if Bhavya is posting a lot of stuff about writing and art, and she wants to bring all that together and create a unique hashtag that she could tap and she could share with people, where people can see all her work all together, and other people who have reposted her content, or places where her work has been showcased, she can simply share that hashtag with those people and ask them to post that hashtag, so that it becomes a pool of her content at one place. For example, the rightist, right? Was it the rightist?
The rightist. Right.
The rightist, right? Yeah. So the rightist itself can be your branded hashtag. It's very attractive. It's a concept name. You can pull in, but we keep forgetting that every time we are posting content on Instagram, are we putting that branded hashtag everywhere? If you're not doing it, you can go back to your post, edit them, and put that branded hashtag even today.
Okay.
What that will do is that will bring everything to one place. Then let's say Arch is there and you all are students of Arch College of Design, and we want to know what sort of content all our students are posting, but we don't. That's why we created a hashtag called hashtag a design thinker, to keep giving students.
At last of my artwork, I write artwork, and anything I write, at last I write Insta writing, in all works.
Okay. So Insta writing is something that might be popular, but might not be still not a branded hashtag. A branded hashtag would be a hashtag that is about your brand and what you are posting and what you are doing, right? So these hashtags got popular because somebody created it, and then so many people started putting content on those particular hashtags that it got popular. So we have a design thinker. Just another note: whenever you're posting content on Instagram about your work or anything that you want the college to see, repost, share, always try to write hashtag a design thinker within your photograph. That will give us a visibility of the kind of content you're posting. Your teachers will be able to trace the work that you're posting back to you, or your teachers are also working on your on their Instagram profile, so we get more active on Instagram and interact more, give you more live feedback whenever you're doing things. So it doesn't have to be that you wait for your class for the teacher to give you feedback, or you wait for your submissions or formative assessments for the teacher to give you feedback. The feedback is happening all the time. It's one of the most important processes of design, that you get constant feedback, because at the end of the day, design today is user centric. You're not making content for yourself, but you're making content and things or designs for the world. So user has become, the god, basically. Then in the end, your call to action. What do you want your user to do? What is your call to action for them? How to, if you want to keep them engaged, if you're posting something and you want something from them, you tell them. You must have seen in YouTube videos, press the bell icon below, share, subscribe, comment. That is called the call to action, where you ask your engagement audience to engage with your post in a certain way, however you want to. Or you must have seen how people interact in memes, that okay, post your favorite emoji. That is a call to action. So creating a call to action for each post is something that is important and create a lot of visibility for you. Optimizing your Instagram profile. Point one, your Instagram aesthetics. So pick a color scheme, focus on lighting, and space out your content. I will dive into these three topics further. So when you're picking a color scheme, it is important on Instagram that you keep it consistent. Maybe you like pastel colors, or maybe you are going by Pantone color of the year as a color theme that you've chosen, or the brand that you're building aligns with certain brand colors that you want to follow, or a certain color scheme that you follow. So all of you have studied in your foundation the basics of colors, what a color wheel is, what are primary, secondary, tertiary colors, what are complementary, different sort of color schemes that are there. You can always go on to Adobe Color Wheel and explore more options of colors, look at combinations that you can make. Focusing on lighting, that is important, because when you're looking at a content on your phone screen, and some people, mostly people scroll a lot at night, the brightness is low, and that's why the brighter the images, the stronger the images in terms of lighting, the clear the elements of the image are, the better your profile will look. If you've posted something uh, very dark and very light, that could be a particular style you might have chosen for your profile, but that is also looking at the color scheme that you're focusing on. Space out your content. So what does spacing out your content mean? Spacing out your content is that too much posting is also not nice. If you're posting 3 times a day, it spoils your aesthetics. But maybe you're posting 9 times a day, and then still it doesn't feel spaced out. It's very cluttered. There's too much content going on. Maybe you have too much product to show. You've created so much work that you feel like I should put everything out there. So what you can do is you can do multiple posts, carousel posts, things like that, to space out your content. Keeping things consistent and curate with user generated content. So these are two major points. The pro tips here is for keeping things consistent is that You can try adding white borders, giving them frames, making grid layouts. All of you are understand little bit of Photoshop and understanding grid layouts. There are a lot of apps out there like Griddy or Gridbox or Instagram, Grid for Instagram, and other apps, third-party apps that create you preset grids that you can use to curate your own profile and the content that you're posting. Can be landscape, can be portrait, can be full square. However, according to research, full solid images that are bright, colorful in one particular style and look and feel, and consistently put, are the most popular posts on Instagram and create higher user engagement. The most important rule for the user generated content is that always ask for what? Can you read it? Can you read my screen? Can all the students read my screen? Why is user generated content important and what is the pro tip for it? Can someone read out the pro tip for me?
Yes, I'll read it out. The most important rule for using UGC is to always ask for permission before reposting someone else's photo to Instagram. And when giving credit, you always want to reference the original photographer in the caption. Simply tagging them in the photo isn't enough.
And what do we do? Ashi, what do we do as designers today? What do you think your colleagues and students around you are doing as a practice?
Well, I was a part of something in which I had to tell them to at least even tag me, because permission is a far away object. I believe people do not even, give the proper credits.
Right. So do you think if 70 people who are there on the call right now do this as a rule, do you think there'll be a huge shift and change into how collaboratively we are working and how aware everybody is about other people's work and what they are doing as designers?
Yes, I believe so. Like, even if 70 people do this, it can create a bigger change. Like, even a chain of
Right.
reactions, people will
Yeah.
see 70 people are, you know, just giving credit. So why should I not also give credit? And then this can create a very positive chain of reactions.
Exactly. So that is a culture that we need to put in. It's not gonna come in by itself. We see problems as designers, and we need to tackle them on ourselves, right? By as individuals. So even when you're posting your original content, there are a lot of people who helped you get to that content. So it is always nice to tag your teachers, maybe tag your institution if it's relevant. If you're taking inspiration from someone else's writing, tagging them, what might happen is that you might get lucky, and those people who you've taken inspiration from, and if you've duly credited them and given them a respectful honor that, okay, this is what I learned from you and this is what I created from what I got from your words or your work or the things that you've posted, then that will give you new opportunity. It'll open new doors for you. Optimizing Instagram posts. So there are tons of different sort of features to Instagram that Instagram is adding. There is photo posts, which is normal that you see on your profile. There are video posts that allow you to put 30-second videos, short videos. There are carousel posts that you can put, which is multiple photos within a photo. So if you want to say post an album or a range of processes within a photograph, then you can keep a single solid image for the first post that you're putting, keeping your grid in mind, and then add whatever sort of photos inside it. Can be, doesn't need to be in a frame because you are trying to maintain your grid. So that is something important when you're doing carousel posts. Instagram shopping posts are something uh, that I have seen personally art students take up a lot. A lot of jewelry students start selling their own jewelry that they're exploring within the first year. They just start posting jewelry content and other their batchmates order from them, or friends and family start ordering from them, and slowly the circle grows. I've seen them collaborate with people who are doing good photography within the campus, people who have good aesthetics. So maybe I'm not great at aesthetically pleasing posts, but I have a friend who does amazing photography. So I'll ask him for help, tell him, okay, can you do a photo shoot for my product? Tag him in that, tag him in the photograph, put a location where I did it, credit the location that I'm using, and then post something. So it feels more complete. It's 100% authentic, and you're getting and generating more content, and that might help you create better shopping posts and might sell your products faster, quicker, and give you more outreach. Instagram stories. So in 2017, Instagram came up with the story concept, and it beat Snapchat. And whereas Snapchat was completely based on the concept of having purely burst photographs that don't stick around for a while, Instagram thought that, okay, maybe we can create a 24-hour time slot for stories where people could see what's going on in their life, what they're doing on a daily basis, to create higher engagement for people. And sort of, don't you feel Instagram is become the new Snapchat, and Snapchat has become a little bit obsolete today? So thank you, Shivali. Here are 4 Instagram story features that are perfect for businesses. Why have I written businesses there is because you are launching yourselves as designers, not as individuals. So you have to look at it from a business perspective. Instagram story links are there. There are highlights on your profile of important things that you did. So we created highlights for Fashion Colloquia because it was a huge event, and we got everything curated into 5 different days that we planned: day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, day 5. And then we had a separate highlight for the fashion show that we did for the Amir Colloquia. Hashtagging and location in stories. This is an important point, not only for stories that you put through, but also the post that you're putting. We often forget to tag locations because our focus is on our work, but where did you do it, where did it come from, does it belong somewhere? Giving it locations gives it more credibility. It goes out to more people. You might not notice, but just by tagging Jaipur, and somebody might be going on Jaipur location who lives maybe in London or somewhere else in the world, and they're looking at what is happening in Jaipur, and they come across your profile and start following you instead. So putting locations, hashtagging is very necessary. You can always go on to search relevant hashtags for the content that the type of content that you're posting on Google. It's easily available that what are the highest hits that a fashion hashtags is getting, and even Instagram suggests you. So try to hashtag as much as you can, not too much, but keep it consistent. And then stickers make your stories interactive. At the end, I would like to talk a little bit about Instagram advertising and why it's important today. Since the algorithm works on interest basis, and you must have noticed that after every 5 posts that you scroll through, no matter you scroll it in every second, Instagram will show you a sponsored ad of people who are selling their products, or even people who are trying to talk about, let's say, their garden, or people who are doing writing, or who are content creators, fashion bloggers, photographers, just so that they're sharing likable content to people who are looking for such things to look at, to take inspiration from. So there are photo ads, there are carousel ads, there are video ads, there are boosted posts, and there are Instagram story ads that you must have seen out there. On that note, I think I've covered Instagram as a soft thing that is out there and how it's important for designers. A few key points to take back from here is that you need to build your Instagram profile. You need to optimize it, think of your own name, create your own logo, having a logo is super important, an email that people can reach you out to, and start. You're already creating content as designers. Start curating that content, start collecting that content, and creating grid layouts. When I am working, I usually start creating grid layouts of 9, so that not just the 3 posts that I'm going to post right now, but the 3 after and the 3 after that. So I know I'm sorted out for like 9 sort of different posts, and I know that my content is complete. And then by the time I start coming on to posting the last third grid, I create 9 more, right? So I'm gonna stop sharing my screen now. That was the presentation for Instagram. I would like to now move on to some examples. Ask students if they have any questions. Please feel free to ask any questions, and I'll start showing you a little bit of work that I've collected, and also we'll talk about students who've shared their profiles now.
I'm sorry, sir. I won't be able to turn on my video because my connection is poor. So if I turn on the video, the audio will not be.
No worries, no worries.
Sir, I have this page named the Artverse. So I have started it as a challenge, like a challenge thing for artists.
Have you
Many of
sent me, Vartika?
yes,
Vartika, have you
yes,
sent me?
yes, sir.
Okay. Um,
uh, Artists from different countries, they have DM'd me and they joined this challenge. So sir, this challenge, it had been 2 months we are doing this, and now people DM me to, like, they want to buy those paintings and all. So I was we have been thinking of taking it to the
what's your
next,
page? What's your
the
page?
the
The
artverse
art. Am
verse.
I writing it? Is my
Yes,
screen
the
visible?
yes, yes.
Okay. So this is Vartika's page. All right. So people have DM'd you.
Yes, they are like, can you sell this art piece? We want this art piece. So we are thinking to make it a e-commerce platform to sell
Okay.
painting and for bookmarks, tattoos, digital prints and all. Right now, the layout is little disturbed because we have to post one of the artwork.
Right.
So we have decided to do a paid promotion for it, but many people were saying that it is of no use, the paid promotion thing. So should we do it or not?
Okay. So the first we look at the basics, right? So I told you a few points that your Instagram grid should be there, your content should be tagged, there should be a branded hashtag that you're posting, there should be people that you're tagging regularly, put location onto the post that you're putting, where it was made, how did you come to it, write ups that you're doing for it. So, right now, you are generating enough content, you're hashtagging it right, it is going out to the right people, you're tagging people, but there is no description of the artwork that you're posting. So it becomes less engaging. There aren't locations tagged in it of people. You're tagging the pages that are relevant to you, where people can feature you or your work goes out more. The grid is decent, it is basic right now. However, I think if you decide what sort of content you want to post, in what grid format, you need to categorize looking at things. So for example, you have a portrait post here and a portrait post here, but then you have a full square image over here. How can you create a grid layout that incorporates the multiple sort of artworks that you will get, because you will get them in all sort of dimensions? So you need to think about how can you create a grid layout that satisfies your need of posting different sort of content, and it can be put together in a more aesthetical manner. So for example, you've done a photography note here, there's a good description written, hashtagging is done, and look at the post engagement. You have 10 comments, whereas if something else without a description is there, there is not much content, that much engagement happening, right? Am I making sense to you, Vartika?
Yes, sir.
You have a logo. There is, you're saying DM for more information. There is an email is missing. Your background is clear that it's a platform to express your art with challenges we create. I'm gonna look at your stories. Just a second. Do you want us to put the next humans of art, inspiration stories
So we
of
have just
artists?
started that Humans of Art, where we put the inspiring stories of different artists.
Okay. I overall I love your profile. I think it's nice. You've used the Artverse logo over here as a watermark. I would recommend that if you are really looking at creating a brand out of this particular page into a page that is a brand where people who want to express art through challenges and share their content, you should brand it. So I, whenever I post photographs, I try to put a watermark there, not just to save my photograph from being copied, but also because it's sort of like a branding. It is my name that I want to put forward, not just it. So it does two purposes. It protects your intellectual property, and it also communicates your brand, so that even if anybody is copying it, and if it's going out there, your logo is still a part of it. You're not losing that branding.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's my feedback for you. Is there anybody else?
Thank you.
My
Sir, I
pleasure.
DM'd you.
Okay. Is that Bhavya? I can't see. Sorry. So. Okay, so the right, whom am I speaking to right now? Rightist. Is that
Yes,
Bhavya,
sir.
right? Okay, Bhavya. So there are a lot of points that I covered today, and you need to. I hope everybody had a pen, paper, and a diary, and they've taken notes. I will share this presentation with Rajesh sir and Jitendra sir, and they'll share it with you all. Um, you're making interesting content, but the way you're putting it can be more interesting. I think there is very creative stuff on your profile. You're writing things, so I would definitely recommend that. Which course are you on, Bhavya?
Yes, sir.
Which course are you on?
I'm for interior.
Interior. So, Bhavya, do you have any friends in graphic design or people in foundation that you met who are doing graphics at Arch?
No, sir. Sarthak is there for graphics.
Okay. So, do you have any friends in the graphic design department or design communication, or
Not sir.
even other domains where they are doing good Instagram profiles? I'm sure you must be following
Yes, sir.
some
I
of your
have.
friends who are doing very
I
good
have
work.
Tanisha Bakshi.
Okay, so why don't you talk to Tanisha, ask for her help? How can you create the layout stronger? And
Okay.
within this week, take out some time to create a layout for yourself. How you're gonna start posting content. For example, this is a very interesting um, watercolor painting. It's very impromptu, um, looks very lively, colors are beautiful. But the way you've presented it kills the whole idea of it. I mean, this in real life, the way it would look, it's not coming out like that within a photograph. So it needs to be created more bold. Light needs to be stronger. You can create a grid layout for yourself, create a branded hashtag for yourself, and then start putting content. There should be something where people can reach out to you. Things I've already covered. Yeah.
Okay, sir.
All right. Sidra. Right. Hi, Sidra.
Yeah,
You're audible, but like you have a very squeaky, low, weak voice. I can't hear you that much. Sidra, I have been on your profile before because I keep looking at student content that people are posting. I follow a few of you through my wildlife page. I really love your content. The content you are posting is amazing.
Thank you.
Um, I think it has the capacity to go all out. Um, are you a graphic design student? Or you're a fashion student?
And yeah, I'm a fashion student, yeah. But
Right, Siddharth.
I do
So
a bit of mostly I do illustrations, so yeah.
yeah, you've written illustration, fashion designer.
Actually,
So your content is very interesting. It's very unique. Um, I would recommend think about collaborations, think about putting locations, tagging more pages out there, curating your profile, giving a call to action. Um, See, you've written DM for orders and payment details, but when I go onto your profile, it's not visible. I have to click on more.
yeah,
I have to click on more to see DM for orders or payment details. So the call of action is not clear only. So how will people know that you are even doing it? You are doing or working for others, and I would
mm-hmm.
recommend removing payment details from there, because that is obvious. Once someone has placed an order with you, then you are not working for free, not for anybody. Yeah.
Yes, right.
So I would recommend removing that bit. Um, I think a lot of you who are putting your content out there, even if you don't have a location to tag, even if you tag the college, it will give you a lot of visibility, because it is a 20-year-old legacy, and we have so many students who are looking at that location all the time. Every year, students are applying. They are not anymore looking at our website or uh, what we are doing or calling us. They're going on to our Instagram page and looking at what we are doing from there. So when they go to that Instagram page and then they look at our location, nothing about the college will come. If you've put a location here saying that you made it at Arch College, it will simply pop up to them there. So you reach out to more people.
Hello,
Yeah,
sir.
yes.
Sir, there's one concern. I always tag Arch in my stories and also post, but I am not able to tag them. Like I have a public account, a separate page for my artwork, but I cannot
Okay,
take
what's it called?
color secret. I send you.
You've sent me.
Yes, yes.
All right, let's have a look. Um, I haven't gotten any request from you.
So
I've
it's
got Right Taste, I've got Sidra, Artverse, and Shivali.
sir. Can you search
Yeah.
color secret? COLORS_secret. Yeah, so the first one, Mansi Sahu.
Mansi Sahu.
So I always tag Arch in the stories, but I am not able to like see the SCN DMs.
You tag Arch in your
Yes,
stories,
sir.
but I don't see Arch being tagged anywhere.
So in the stories,
Tell me.
like whenever I do the work and I upload the work in process stories, I always tag. My classmates' stories are visible in the Arch page, but not mine. Whenever they tag them.
Okay, are you sure you're tagging Arch?
Yes, sir. I'm following Arch also from this account.
So next time you post, send a DM of that story to Arch's social media handle so that they
Okay.
can add it to their story.
Okay,
Also,
sure.
when you're posting, there are two ways of posting something, right?
Yes, sir.
Let's say I've taken this photograph and then I go here. Then there are two ways of putting a hashtag. One is through the hashtag label, and another one is when you go for a textual one, you go @Arch College and you type that. So these are two different ways
Yes, sir.
of tagging someone. Sometimes Instagram glitches, and what happens is it doesn't show you add to the story, so we might not be receiving your tag. That's why we're not able to repost it. Otherwise, you said it yourself that we are posting content from your friends accounts.
Yes, sir.
So try to do this and then maybe hide it somewhere within the photograph, make it very small, put it on a white thing so that it's visible, or overlap it with something else
Yes,
if
yes,
you
sir.
don't wanna keep it visible. But or if it's coming in the way of your aesthetics, if you wanna hide it, doesn't matter. We'll still post it. So try to do it twice just in case. Yeah.
Sure, sir. I'll try once more. Thank you, sir.
My pleasure. Okay. Some accounts. Let's look at some accounts. Shall we? Can someone tell me how much time I have left? It's 1 o'clock, so I think I have 15 minutes. Yeah, so nobody's responding, so that's why I wasn't sure. And my screen is still visible, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, all the students, for sharing your profiles. You can send me your profiles for feedback at any point of time. Just send it to the photo walk or DM me, and I will share my feedback with you. So this is one of my cousins. She is a content creator. She recently started. Um, so this is her profile. She does photography. She creates moods, aesthetics. She's doing a sustainable fashion course online. So she created clothes from some old fabrics that she found at home, and she upcycled them into garments. Wrote a story, gave credits. So she's written, stitched and narrated by her Nani, assisted by Drunken Shit, that's her brother's handle, and Manoj Bhaiya. Manoj Bhaiya is a helper at her place. So he must have helped him hold it. So just because that hand was there in the photo, she has written his name also. So the amount, how you credit a particular post is very important. Doesn't matter if that person is there or not. Crediting people is very important. Then she was researching about anxiety and how everybody is stuck between four walls of their homes. So she created a whole campaign around colors. So she said she collected 9 colors: white, gray, black, green, orange, pink, yellow, red, and blue. And she said, okay, with blue, I am going to collect 9 different things, 5 different things of that particular color that you find in your house. And it's going to help you with your anxiety, because it's very pleasing to look at colors and curating content. So she said, okay, go out in your house, try to pick 9 things of one single color, photograph them into a layout, and collect them. And that will help you feel less anxious about being stuck within four walls and being quarantined. So these are very basic things, but look what she's done out of it and the content that she's created. A sanitizer bottle, rin, uh, a small container. For green, she has a chakku, she has a pad, an iodine, a hit, a power bank, her iPod, some elaichis, and a plant. So these were things that she found inside her house, available, and she created that into a post to help people with anxiety and how they can deal with their free time when they are home and they are getting bored. So you can also try these activities at home to help you out. Yeah. So this was particularly content based. Doesn't matter. It's not domain specific. This is a textiles fashion page account where the student is creating inspiration from nature and doing surface development for clothes, along with natural dyes and natural fabrics that she's sourcing locally. So we keep doing these eco prints, but the way you capture it, the way you post it, it creates a different sort of engagement with the user. So this is a photo shoot that I did for her when I was in London. So she's tagged me that, okay, capturing the details, Manan Surana, and the model and the people who wore. So she gave me credits for doing this photo shoot for her.
Excuse me, sir.
Sorry.
I just put it a question in the chat box. but I would read it out for you. I was just asking, as people say that we need to post relevant hashtags for the post we are posting.
Right.
But where to find that specific hashtag for that particular post, which
Okay.
like somewhat engaging for people or like that?
Right. So whenever you're creating content, for example, right? When you go on to, if I go on to her profile again, and let's say I open this refract series that she did, and I have to look at something where she's done hashtagging actually, because after a point you reach a certain amount of followers, you don't need to hashtag your post anymore. It is just an initial step. Okay. Maybe I'll go on to my profile to take your example. I'll go down. Okay, this particular post. So this is a photograph I shot in 2017. It was a sub-adult female leopard that I was following. One of my first cub of leopards that I ever spotted. Like I had already always seen adult leopards, never a cub. So this was the first photo of a cub I took. I wrote a small story and I started hashtagging. So I wrote my camera. I tagged Nikon because that's the camera I use. I tagged the place where I did it. I tagged the kind of animal it is. It's an elusive panther animal. Save Us is a page that posts about wildlife content. Sanctuary Asia. I put my branded hashtag, which is the photo walk. Then I tagged a few other big accounts that are there. So you need to look at what are the big accounts that are featuring your sort of work, like the art was versus tagging a lot of art pages. She's tagging a lot of places where there are relevant content. So it's easy to find hashtags. Two things: when you go onto your search bar and you go to tags and you start writing, let's say I write fashion, yeah, so it will start showing me all the hashtags that are popular within fashion. Okay, there's fashion inspo. 9.3 million posts are there, so it's a popular hashtag. Fashion designer, 19.1 million. So you just need to categorize and pick and choose your relevant hashtags from the keywords that are there. When you look at your work, what are the words that come to your mind? What is the identity that you want to put forward? Is it quirky? Is it fun? Is it colorful? These are all keywords. So when you look at your own content, what are the words that come to your head? There are popular hashtags for every word that comes to your head today. Are you getting me?
Yeah.
If it's a fashion sketch, then there is 1.5 million hashtags for just sketches, where people are posting fashion sketches from all over the world, right? So it's not so hard to find fashion illustration or content where people are posting through a particular hashtags. I've just written fashion and there's an endless list of more. I mean, the lowest number that I see is 1 million. So even if you're tagging a hashtag that is 1 million popular, it is still a very popular hashtag and worth putting in your post. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Any more questions?
Sir, I also wanted to ask one.
Hmm.
You have too much in your plate, like I have kids wear to show, I have women's wear to show, and the men's wear. So,
Is this Shivali? I mean, I can't. I'm not. I can't read your name, so I'm making out from the voice. Huh.
so
Right, Shivali.
yeah. So, should we create like separate accounts for them, or how to like categorize all the thing at one place?
So Shivali, you're doing kids, men's, women's, smart casuals, and wedding wear for people.
Yeah.
Your product and service is picking up good. You don't have a website, do you?
I had, but I'm still working on it, so I have to upload the products and all. That's why I have removed the website link.
Okay. So you should definitely start working on your website. Um, categorize your content through the highlights. I would say there's a lot of highlights. You need to sort it out a little bit. They should be concise and interesting for people to look at. I think if you're trying to show your product line and your product range, then you can create categories. Like I think you've done, this is techwear. Is this techwear you're working on?
Yeah.
Very interesting. I'm also exploring techwear right now because it is something that is picking up a lot and nobody is making techwear in India. So since you have such a mixed sort of content, I think you can pick out days where you're posting a particular style of content. So like we have Fashion Fridays at Arch, where on Fridays we post a video and a post around fashion of whatever we have done. So you can create days where you're posting that particular content. So what people will start doing is that if you're posting something on, let's say, women's wear on Wednesday, then they will come online on Wednesday just to see your page, that what has Shivali posted for women's wear on Wednesday, what is the new stuff that she's doing in women's wear. Yeah. And if you say Monday for men's and Friday for kids, and then you can divide your week into different categories where you're posting content similarly. Yeah, does that make sense? Shivali, does that make sense? I can't hear you. You're not audible. Anyway, we'll move on. I have a few examples to still show you. Shivali, you talk to me separately. I'll give you feedback. Okay. So I have few examples from all departments. Chloe, I've shown you. Content, I've shown you. This is a graphic design student who's a friend of mine from London, and she does interesting illustration. She does vector illustrations. She did typographical projects on shapes, on different shapes, that energies, the healing aspects of shapes and how they heal people. So this is the layout that she's not done much. She's just highlighted it in white box, but still the profile looks cleaner, right? Then there is Cocolia, which is a creative art studio that does art direction and set design. So they keep posting on solids. Their whole concept is based on pop colors and doing curation based on pop colors completely. But look at their grid, how they've done only portraits. They've made a white frame and they've created a fixed set style of the kind of content they'll post. They don't deviate from the colors that there are that are their brand colors, that are solids, that are in right now, that are pastel. This is a very interesting way of editing a photograph of a product, how you can display printmaking, the shirt you've designed maybe, or a photo shoot that you've done where you want to talk about a new concept that you're launching, branding that you're doing. So this is a good example of grid layouts and sort of following a color scheme for your brand. This is a page of a graphic designer and illustrator, Meru. Most of her branding is vectorized. She's made stamps. She's done a lot of branding work for a lot of big brands that are up there. She comes amongst the top 10 graphic designers you should follow in the country who are changing the scape for women in graphic design. Please feel free to ask questions parallelly. So as graphic design students, I feel a lot of students that are making content are not implying it anywhere. Like you make an illustration, then it needs to go somewhere. You need to adapt it into products or a visualization, or it should come out as a physical or a tangible thing that helps you generate more content and then gives people the opportunity to imagine your idea or your illustration into products that it can be picked up for. So people who align with your graphic sense and your ideology would come and reach out to you when you tag them and ask you that, okay, we'd like to buy this particular print from you and make a sofa out of it. But if you create that print and wrap it around a sofa and post it, they'll be like, oh, that is an interesting concept. There's a lot of free stock images of furnitures, photo frames, postcards, stamps, phone covers that are available that you can adapt your graphics into and then post it in a professional manner. It can be a box like this. Then I have a product design page. This is one of my batchmates from CSM. He's a German guy. He recently did a project on hooks, basically just hanging a bicycle onto a wall. It was that as basic as that. And it is just a single aluminium pipe, which is CNC milled. He's put the process of making that piece of product there. And this is how it looks. But he's created a 9-grade post. He's dedicated all 9 boxes to 3 for process, 3 for final product, and 3 for the design development that he's done. Very basic, very minimal, not too much there. Then this is a project that he did on Yard and Friends. It was so next to CSM there used to be a coals mine, and in the coals mine there used to be a ceramic factory where people used to make a lot of things. So he created these desk organizers out of concrete and ceramics by using negative tooling. This might be interesting for product design students. And then he's also put up a video. So it's always interesting to keep sharing things that are there and put them into perspective with different sort of posts that you put. Not just photographs, not just carousel, but putting different sort of media. Can be a GIF, can be a short video, can be a IGTV, can be a story. So you have to keep interacting. And he's also clearly put that he's a product designer from this particular institution and this is his website. Call to action is not there because that's not what his aim is. His aim is to show his work and communicate it out there, and that's it, just to share his design work. And if people align with his design sensibilities, brands will come to him automatically. This is another friend who's doing knitwear from LCF. The reason why I wanted to show her profile was she has put a lot of experimentation, a lot of research of different yarns, a lot of different things that she's exploring with, different textures and surface development she's doing. She's from Jaipur. Her family runs an export house in Jaipur. So she went there to study knitwear so she can develop something in a new direction, because in India knitwear happens in just 2 places, either somewhere in the south or I think in Chandigarh, where they have bigger manufacturing, where you must have seen those t-shirts that are being made for $200, $150. That's all machine made knitwear product. Whereas she's doing knitwear by hand, which is a mechanical, completely technical process, like similar to weaving. So she's put illustration. She did a sportswear line of leggings and a top. This is the photo shoot that we did in VNA. Right. Then I would like to come down to jewelry. Okay, so another young designer, just like you all, she started shipping worldwide. And these are the sort of products she's making. It's completely, charms. Charms in jewelry, charms are picking up a lot. Small things that you attach to your wrist or your ears or your necklaces, small products that align with your personality. So she's doing little things like this, and then doing a photo shoot and posting them in a organized manner. For example, there's names. There are little pieces of things you can customize and add to your bracelets. But the whole idea is to capture your products nicely and share it with a bold lighting and aesthetic. Put it out there in an organized way. Arrange your profile in an orderly fashion, making sure that your colors are in place. And then she got featured in Vogue. So, she must have tagged a lot of, at a lot of places, she might have tagged products, and then they gave her a feature. So that can give your brand a lot of upliftment. If your tagging is right, if you've done complete, and after you reach that point, then you don't need to do all of that. Then people start looking for you rather than you looking for people, once you establish yourself as a designer. It doesn't need to be that you're a graduate, honestly. This is for interiors. It's a woman based out of I think Mumbai or Bangalore. There is very less content about interiors. What you'll see on her page is mostly things she likes. She takes wildlife images from people she knows and takes inspiration from them, and then creates such prints like, a pahari painting, or a motif, um, or even paintings for the wall. So interior designers have a lot of scope for exploring different materials, different processes, taking inspiration from a lot of places, and then curating it into a look and feel. Like I said, for graphic designers, that you can edit out things in a particular environment and put it out there. It doesn't need to be that it is something in real. It is physically made and then you need to photo shoot it. You can easily use Photoshop and the tools that you have and the knowledge that you have to create that sort of content. And then I have one for fashion. Another one, this is a mixed fashion and jewelry page, where, and they've done footwear also. So it's more like an all together thing. Interesting photo shoots. The artist, the designer has talked about himself, exploring different photos. You can see this is not even like, this is not what he's selling, but this is a process that he's showing, where he's done color exploration and how he has transferred that color onto fabric and created something like this. Yeah. Okay. Hello again. So that'll be all for today. I think I've emphasized enough on the importance of Instagram. If you guys have any questions, feel free to send me a message. I'll give one-to-one feedback if need be. And that'll be all. So Rajesh sir has written Ludhiana and Tirupur for knitwears that are popularly there. So, I mean, your teachers are the best people for knowing where to find what. And Priyanka ma'am is doing her working on a PhD. A lot of teachers are doing a lot of research projects. They have worked a lot in the industry. So it's always a good idea to gauge their knowledge, curate it into something in your own product, create a story around it, and then share it out in the world. But the whole idea of today's masterclass was that you launch yourself as designers, even though you're in first year or you're just started, you're in foundation, and you're just exploring with shapes and colors and basic techniques of sketching. It is a journey. It will people who buy into you or buy into your brand as a designer will get attached from now on, and then you will keep building your user centric crowd and pool, and they'll give you good feedback. You'll get a lot of good feedback from your peers. Then again, you remember the user generated content pro tip: tag people, give due credits, even if they have done very little. We keep forgetting whom to tag all the time. If you don't have any location to tag, tag Arts College. Not because we want you to tag us, that is not the purpose. The purpose is that your content gets curated in one place and it's visible to people. It shouldn't feel incomplete. Or if you have other locations, even if your hometown, don't leave it out. Tag your photographs, find relevant pages, create saved highlights where you're saving pages that you like, saving designers that you like. It's very hard to keep following when you're trying to build your own brand and your number of people you're following is very high. People tend to not understand you sometimes, but you can always use the saved feature in Instagram, and you can keep categorizing your content. That okay, you like someone who's doing illustration, you can put an art and illustration saved album, and then you can keep adding artists and illustrators whom work you align with. And or maybe I have a saved where I have written product sourcing, and I keep finding people who are selling different sorts of products, are from small villages or small towns, or even established people who are selling a good product. So I keep adding it to product sourcing, that okay, I might need it after 5 years, maybe if not now. Illustrations I like, product design that I like, clothing that I like, since I'm looking at techwear myself. So whatever your interests are, start curating it into saved archives, documenting your process. But most importantly, decide your name, create your logo, and start sharing your content. Think about your layout. That is something I want you all to move out with. Um, is there anything anybody wants to ask or feels I have not covered? Because I know all of you are experts. So many of you are posting content on Instagram that is actually selling as a product. So you have better experience. Um, all of you are experts in what you are making and what you are doing. So I would love to have some people share their experience. Uh, is anybody trying to say something? Okay, Shushmita, how to reach PR. What do you mean, Shushmita? Can you come? Can you put your audio on? I would like to have a conversation. What do you mean, how to reach PR?
Good morning, good afternoon, sir. So actually, I want to know like
Not
how to
Manan,
reach the
Manan.
promotion. How to
Yeah,
okay, so
sorry, Manan.
okay, man. I just want to know about how we can reach to PR, especially for promoting their products, and or else getting engaged with their brand, especially.
Okay, so there are a lot of ways. For example, there is a brand called Code Silver, uh, whom I came across. It's run by the Dullabji family. They run a hospital here in Jaipur, and they have a jewelry brand. They create silver jewelry, which is they have Code Silver Wild and they have Code Silver. So Code Silver makes home decor and life accessories out of silver for daily use, and Code Silver Wild makes products that are specific to jewelry and are made out of silver and are for wildlife. So that is a niche that they create. So you have to find what sort of content you're putting, what sort of product you're creating, and based on that, find those brands. That's what I said. You need to start saving such accounts that you come across, people who align with the sort of work that you're making. So जैसे Artverse जो था, she shared that some people reached her out because she did hashtagging and tagged the right amounts of people, and they want to sell their paintings or publish their paintings onto their page. So PR will happen by itself once you look professional enough to the brand in front of you. There are people scrolling every second. If something that you've made grabs their attention, people will not be reluctant to reach out to you. They will reach out to you straight away, send you a message in the direct messages, asking you to share more work, or sharing your portfolios or even your CV. Like, so these are things that you should keep preparing, because you might be surprised that you are just scrolling and tomorrow you get a message, can you share your CV and your portfolio, and we'd like to feature you and hire you as a designer for our brand. And you are like, oh, I don't have a brand name, I don't have a website, I don't have a portfolio, I don't have a logo, um, I don't know what to do. So that's what I'm trying to get to, that you need to start building your identity as designers, creating, collecting, curating constantly, and people will reach out to you automatically. You don't need to reach out to them. You just need to be at the right places, make sure that your presence is at the right places at the right time. You are talking to the right people, you are collaborating with people who align with you, you are sharing content that is relevant to your beliefs and what you believe in as a designer. Like, if I'm a wildlife page, and let's say tomorrow I start posting the fashion shoots that I've done from the past so many years. I've never posted any fashion shoot ever on my I mean, the purpose of my wildlife page is wildlife. So how post a fashion shoot? But let's say I take a model into a jungle, there's a leopard sitting with the model. That will be something that will still be relevant to me. So I need to look at what sort of content that I'm posting and how it's relevant for the people. People will reach out to you automatically. PR will happen by itself.
Thank you.
Did my question answer?
Yes.
Like, did my
Yes.
answer? Did I answer your question correctly? Sorry.
Yes. Thank
Yeah.
you. Yeah. Thank you.
Anything else? Any other questions? Please keep throwing more questions at me. I would love to answer, because I don't know if we'll get this opportunity again. I know we are out of time. We've crossed the time limit, but I'll take one or two more questions.
How can I ask?
Yes, please.
So,
Yeah, I can hear you.
okay. So, as you said, na, ki tag as much as we can for our popularity work. But matlab, if we are making a painting by on ourselves, सिर्फ खुद के आइडिया है, सब कुछ खुद का है, so हम किसको टैग करें, मतलब what we should tag a
तो
particular post.
अभी
What?
recently ना मैं I came across a page of a collective of artists, and उसके अंदर उन लोगों ने क्या कर रखा था, सिर्फ आर्टिस्ट का कलेक्टिव है। मैं आपको, आप चाहो तो मैं आपको भेज दूंगा उनका नाम। उसमें 10 अकाउंट्स है, 10 लोग हैं, वो सिर्फ इलस्ट्रेशन बनाते हैं। कोई एक्रेलिक में करता है, कोई वाटर कलर में कर रहा है, कोई ग्लास पेंटिंग कर रहा है, कोई रेजिन में वर्क कर रहा है, बट सब आर्ट बना रहे हैं। तो उनने क्या किया, एक कैंपेन, और उनके पास, सबके पास 10,000 फॉलोअर्स है, 5,000 प्लस है, 20,000 है। तो दैट इज how they created a campaign. They said, we'll give free giveaways. They got a brand to help them sponsor a competition. They created an art competition to promote people like you who are having art pages and want to promote their art page. Then what they do is they add your art page handle onto the list of the description, and they say that these are the giveaways. We are giving 3 months of free art supplies to you. All you have to do is like all the social media handles that are written down. So anybody who wants to participate into that and wants 3 months free art supplies will come down, like your page, and you start increasing followers. So they created a competition, collected like-minded people, and just by doing that, they didn't need to tag anybody. They just collected their own people, tagged their own people, and asked other people, all their audience. So they are saying they are posting one post, all 10 of them are posting that same post and launching it as a competition and saying, these are the 10 pages that you need to like to win 3 months of art supplies. And as a cumulative, those 10 people have more than 200k people following them, who are looking at only art content, only art pages, and only people who are doing illustration. So I reached out to her. I was like, we are a design college. We'd like to collaborate with you. So she messaged me back saying, we are not looking at collaborations due to the COVID times right now. But this was the last campaign. If there is anything, we'll let you know. So the first thing that she asked me was that, are you an art page? Because I reached her out from my photography page. So she was like, are you an art page? Like, no, I'm not an art page. So as soon as I said that, I wasn't relevant to her. She's only working with people who are relevant to her, only who are artists. So people like you can go out to people like them and be like, I'd like to participate. And they'll put your name inside.
But sir, as I have not made a logo for myself, so anybody can cheat my art.
What's your name?
Bhavya Nima.
Bhavni.
Bhavya Nima.
Bhavya, right.
Yes.
We've been speaking. You've been quite active in this session, Bhavya. I'd like to thank you for doing
Thank
that.
you, sir.
Nobody else talks to me, so I'm like, this was a boring session. So Bhavya, what is your question exactly? If you don't have a logo.
See, I have no logo. As you said, what was the name of that page that you said?
I didn't share the name yet. I just gave you an example that there are pages like that.
So if I am giving my any painting or any sketch to them, and I have not any logo or nothing that...
It is not work related, Bhavya. They are not sharing each other's works. They are posting, every individual artist is posting their own illustration. They are just selecting, they are just curating people who are like-minded and creating a collective of similar artists who are engaging with people, constantly painting and posting content. And they are saying, follow them also, just to support them. Yeah, Shivali, I get it that she's concerned about copyrights and what if someone steals it. So, firstly, there's so much abundance of content.
Public account.
Yeah. So,
My account is public.
So I have had people steal my photographs, and use it as their own. I have had a very big researcher put one of my research projects that I did.
So how do we deal with that?
So how you deal with them is you simply go out to them and you confront them and you tell them, and then if they don't understand that, then you go for a legal way. However, today, if you are creating content and you're worried about people stealing them, I would say you are stopping or restricting yourself, because go on to Instagram and search. There's an hashtag called art illustrations or illustratorial edits, and there are millions and millions of posts where people are generating countless amount of content every day. Nobody is gonna, if somebody is stealing, they know that it's stolen. They're not gonna make 2 pennies out of it. It is always going to be your original art. Even though my photograph got stolen, and photographs are easier to steal than artworks. Someone's artwork you can't really steal, because what you have made nobody else can make. They can copy it, but it will always remain yours. The concept will always remain yours. If somebody asks that person, why did you make it, they won't be able to answer it. But if someone asks you, why did you make it, you'll always be able to tell your user why you made it. So don't restrict yourself worrying about people stealing your content. The world has become the playground, and it is not something that should restrict you. Don't think about people stealing it. Just put it out there. You don't have your logo, that's fine. Just write your name, chota sa, in the corner. That will also do. If you are really worried that people might steal your content, do that. But what is good about Instagram is it only uploads a photograph in 1080 pixels or 2048 pixels, which is, if I print it on an A4, it will get pixelated. So nobody can copy your content. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
Any more questions? Last question. Or I think we've had enough questions for today. I think there's a lot of information that I've given you all. Thank you everybody for listening to me today. We'll close the session now. If you have any queries or questions, please feel free to message me. I will share the presentation that I shared today with Rajesh sir and Jitendra sir, and he can share it with you all.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Thank you everyone.